AI chatbot, or AI agent. You've probably heard these terms thrown around a lot. And look, it sounds like a simple choice, but picking the wrong one, that can be a really costly mistake. So how do you know if you just need a simple helper or if you need a truly sophisticated problem solver? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to give you a clear 3-step framework to make that decision for your business the smart way.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the absolute basics, just to make sure we're on the same page. Then we'll dive right into our 3-point framework. We're going to look at task complexity, integration needs, and of course, budget. And then we'll wrap it all up so you can walk away knowing exactly which one is right for you.
And this is really the core question, isn't it? The answer here doesn't just define your next tech purchase. Honestly, it defines a huge part of your entire AI strategy. And the key difference, well, it really comes down to one simple idea.
When you boil it all down, it's this simple. A chatbot is designed to follow a script. An agent, on the other hand, is built to achieve a goal. That distinction might sound small, but trust me, it is everything.
All right, so before we go any further, let's get some really clear definitions down. Let's make sure we're all speaking the same language here.
So, an AI chatbot. Think of it like a digital assistant that's working from a playbook. It's fantastic for those routine, one-off interactions. You know, like answering the same frequently asked questions on a website over and over again. Now, an AI agent, this is a major, major step up. It doesn't just talk, it acts. It can actually reason, plan out a series of steps, and connect to other pieces of software to get a real job done completely on its own. It's a proactive problem solver.
I absolutely love this analogy because it makes it all click. A chatbot is a vending machine. You press B4, you get B4. It's predictable. But an agent, that's like having your own personal chef. It understands what you want. It looks at what's available, and it whips something up just for you. Keep that in your head. It's the perfect way to remember the difference. Okay, so definitions are crystal clear. Now for the practical part. Let's get into this simple 3-point framework that's going to guide your decision. Honestly, these are the only 3 questions you really need to answer. First, what are you actually asking the AI to do? Second, what other tools does it need to connect with and use? And third, what resources can you realistically commit to this? Let's break down each one.
First up, task complexity. This is probably the biggest piece of the puzzle. What is it that you actually need this AI to accomplish? The nature of the work is by far the most important factor.
And it really just boils down to this. Are the tasks you're looking at simple, repetitive, and pretty predictable? Well, that's a job for a chatbot. Or are you dealing with messy, open-ended problems that need some real reasoning and planning? That's agent territory all the way. I mean, you've seen chatbots in action everywhere. They absolutely excel at these kinds of predictable jobs, answering what are your store hours, resetting a password, or guiding someone through a simple form. They are workhorses for high-volume, routine stuff. Agent use cases, though, are on another level entirely. We're not talking about single questions anymore. We're talking about automating an entire workflow, like processing a loan application from start to finish, or managing the supply chain by analyzing data and making its own decisions. These are complex, multi-step objectives. Okay, so that's task complexity. Now for our second big criterion, integration needs. And this one is huge because it's not just about what the AI does on its own, but what it can connect to.
And this is a massive difference. Chatbots are usually self-contained. They kind of live inside that little chat window. Agents, however, are built to connect. Their real power comes from plugging into all your other tools, APIs, databases, your calendar, your CRM, you name it.
Here, think about it this way. A chatbot can tell you the airline's baggage policy. An agent can look at your Google Calendar, see you have a meeting, find the best flight on a booking site, purchase the ticket, and then email you the confirmation. See the difference? That's the power of integration in action. Of course, all that power and connectivity, well, that brings us to our third, and let's be honest, most practical criterion, the resources you actually have, your budget and your expertise.
And look, there's a really clear trade-off here. Chatbots are generally way cheaper and much faster to get up and running. Building and maintaining a truly autonomous agent, well, that's going to require a much larger investment, both in terms of money and in specialized technical talent. So, if your main business goal is to efficiently handle a ton of simple, predictable customer questions, the math is pretty clear. A chatbot is almost always the more cost-effective and practical solution. It really is about using the right tool for the job.
Okay, we've walked through our 3 criteria. So let's put it all together now in one final summary to make this choice even clearer for you.
This table pretty much lays it all out. Just look at the pattern. For chatbots, you see words like reactive, short-term, and limited. They're perfect for in-the-moment answers. But for agents, you see autonomous, long-term, and extensive. They aren't just built to answer. They're built to achieve.
And this really is the bottom line. If you've got a structured, narrow, predictable process, go with a chatbot. But if you need an AI that can actually take initiative, solve problems, and drive a task from the very beginning to the very end, then you need to be looking at an agent.
So now you have the framework. You see, the question was never really which AI is better. It's always been which AI is right for your problem. So the only real question left is, what complex problem are you going to solve first?